All right, my guest tonight in San Francisco, writer for Wired.com, Terrence Russell joins us, and in Richmond, Virginia, blogger for Blogasm.com, Simon Owens. Welcome to The Loop, everybody. Simon, I'd love to start with you because last week you launched an international Delete Your MySpace Account Day. First of all, I want to know the level of success you think you had, but most importantly, I want to know what prompted that. Why the hatred towards MySpace?
Well, it was kind of on a lark. It actually happened on a Sunday night. I had just gotten back to my house, and long story short, I received an email, and the email was alerting me to a birthday of one of my friends, and I opened it up only to find out that in order to find out which one of my MySpace friends I had to who was having a birthday, I had to actually go to MySpace and log on. And in the case of other sites like Facebook, basically it usually tells you within the email itself. So that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
And so how many camels ran away with you? How many broken backs did we end up having last week?
Well, I ended up... Oh, you mean how many people...
yeah, who nuked their MySpace account with you?
Probably a few thousand people between
Wow.
the number of people who came onto my website and commented, the number of people who emailed me, and then there was also a Facebook account that was created for the day, and there were several hundred on there.
All right, so Terrence, I hear Simon's story. I hear about the Delete Your Account Day. I hear about, okay, maybe a couple thousand, that's not really a mass exodus for MySpace, but I'm wondering, do you think there's a greater backlash brewing that's actually taking place right now against MySpace?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the site hasn't really improved in terms of its interface. There, like Simon said in his blog post, there is a lot of spam. There are a lot of annoying things like, blaring music when you hit people's pages. I would say the one thing about that, though, is you can toggle all of that within MySpace.
Right.
So...
But I can't stop those glitter graphics.
Wait.
You can't stop those glitter graphics, no matter how much you want to.
That is true. And in terms of stopping the music, you can only do that if you're logged on. But if you're somebody like me who's not logged on all the time and I'm accessing MySpace from different computers, whether it's work or home or a friend's place, that music still ends up blaring if you're not logged on.
Well, so we're all very familiar with the common gripes against MySpace, of course, but they're trying to do some things right. And now, here's the question. Last spring, Facebook opened its platform. Of course, they began allowing developers to add their own applications. And of course, as a result, traffic and ad revenue skyrocketed. I mean, to say that it was hugely successful for Facebook, I think, is an understatement. But Terrence, now that MySpace is doing this, are they just playing Me Too, or is their approach actually different than Facebook's?
Their approach is slightly different. I think they're doing some interesting things with monetization so that the developers can actually, make money for building the apps. I think they've realized that the great thing about the applications on Facebook is that they do enhance, socialization on the site. And, like Simon said, a lot of what's going on MySpace is just sort of disconnected. Like they are just not promoting the type of interaction that Facebook is actually pretty efficient at.
All right. Simon, do you think the ability to be a pirate or ninja on MySpace is going to quell those concerns that you had earlier, or maybe the concerns that other MySpace users have?
Well, I mean, if you ask a lot of Facebook users what annoys them most about Facebook, you'd actually get the answer that the applications are the most annoying thing. So I think we could see a similar dislike with MySpace.
Right.
Although, I mean, some of the things that Facebook is doing is really cool, or the applications that are being built, like Scrabulous and some of the movie kind of applications I've downloaded.
Right. It's nice to have different ways to compare your profile to others, or quiz your friends, or figure out how you are related to Kevin Bacon. But when I look at MySpace, I wonder why it took so long. And they claim that they didn't take this route sooner because many of these applications were already part of the site. Terrence, I don't know that I buy that. Do you think that's true?
Not really. I mean, MySpace has definitely branched out. They've obviously gone into music, casual gaming, and even video to a lesser degree. But I mean, to basically say that, to make that statement is, to admit to redundancy by bringing in the third-party developers. So I think it's all spin.
All right, Simon, I want to give you the final word, sir. Do you think there's any reason at this point, I mean, obviously you deleted yours, but for the rest of the folks out there, is there any reason to keep your MySpace account active?
No, because if you really think about it, even though they haven't had applications, the reason that MySpace is so disliked is because people are given almost too much control in designing their web pages, and I think this will just clutter things more and bring in more people trying to monetize MySpace, and I think that's probably the problem already.
I can hear millions of browsers crashing already, but I hope that's not the case. In the meantime, I want to thank my guest, Terrence and Simon, for joining us. Thank you guys for keeping us in the loop.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.